my fellow human beings, and welcome to episode 132 of The Best Blessed Life. I'm your best host, Kristen, and today's topic is, it's impossible to come apple with super healthy dinner and dessert. I hope that made sense. Before we get started, I want to thank you all for watching. Please continue to watch, comment, share, like, subscribe, ring that bell, and please pass them on to anyone you think they would help. With that being said, here's our list of things to do today. We're going to go over our daily compliments for the last 2 weeks. We're going to talk about balance. And then we're making tortellini soup and baked apples. So the reason I want to talk about balance this week is because last time, it was 2 weeks ago, I made a really decadent birthday cake. Or I am going to use it as a birthday cake. It was the ultimate s'more cake. And boy, was it ultimate. So good. I have to counterbalance that whole big pile of sugar with something more mellow, and I've tried to make it as healthy as possible. And the baked apples, I have healthy stuff in them, so we can't go wrong there either. So I want to start first with the daily compliments. Okay, starting with the 20th. You are a smart cookie. Your perspective is refreshing. The date. The 22nd, you have the best ideas. The 23rd, you're always learning new things and trying to better yourself. That's awesome. The 24th, you're great at figuring stuff out. The 25th, your creative potential seems limitless. The 26th, I am so proud of you and I hope you are too. The 27th, you are making a difference. The 28th, you deserve all the credit you're getting. The 29th, you are a great example to others. The 30th, actions speak louder than words and yours tell an incredible story. The 1st, you are an awesome friend. The 2nd, you are more helpful than you realize. And today, the 3rd, you always seem to know what others need. Okay, with that going forward, my 28th wedding anniversary is coming up on Saturday. So cheers. Okay, we're gonna get started. Now, I did not write out the recipes, and as you noticed last episode, I didn't sit there and read the recipe. We felt like it was kind of a time suck, so we took it out and we inserted the link into the description of the episode. So I think we're going to do that going forward, but it does make it a bit of a pickle because I have to open up another thing to have the recipe handy. Okay, so for the crock pot tortellini soup, we are using 1 bag frozen cheese tortellini. Well, I'm using 1 box of herb chicken tortellini. So right there, I took out like the more unhealthier cheese aspect and added some protein. And then 1 small bag of frozen chopped spinach or a 10-ounce frozen chopped spinach block. We are not big spinach fans, cooked spinach anyway. I like it raw better. So I am adding mushrooms instead. And for future reference going forward, I'm also thinking about adding zucchini to add some more greens. And then it's 2 14.5-ounce cans of diced tomatoes, not drained, 4 cups chicken broth, and I'm using bone broth, so that's a little bit better. 1 8-ounce block of cream cheese cut into chunks, which I didn't do yet. But I am also using the light cream cheese. I did use 1 pound of Italian sausage, regular, cooked and crumbled. So it should already be cooked and crumbled, and mine is already in my crock pot. And then a 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese. Okay, so the first thing we're doing is we're basically dumping it all in here. The first thing and the only thing we're doing. No, I'm kidding. So, yeah, I get these from Aldi. These are pretty tasty. And like I said, the sausage is already crumbled. I use regular, I don't use hot. I probably could use a mixture going forward, I think. So I'm dumping in the torts. And this one is actually 20 ounces. So we're getting a little bit of more noodle. And then, so the tortellini, the spinach, and diced tomatoes, chicken broth, and cream cheese. I think the only thing we're not really adding is the Parmesan cheese. I think that might be a, finishing thing. So I'm getting my tortellinis all spread out here. Hope y'all are doing well. I can't say that I am, but I'm working on it. Oh, it's just always been a struggle to get going on an episode. So we're all trying to, and my kids especially, are really trying to help me work through a better process for filming. And we're going to see how that goes going forward. Sorry, I totally forgot about this part. I'm going to be quick, and I might as well talk to you about balance while I'm at it, right? So, yeah, this is the light, and I've had it out for a little bit, so it's softened. Might have been easier to cut when it was a little bit harder. But, yeah, we're just going to cut it in chunks. Maybe, if my knife would ever come out. Maybe I'll just break it into chunks. It'd probably be easier. So going forward, we're going to keep improving. We keep trying new stuff, and I'm ever so grateful for their opinions and their advice and their talents in all departments. So, gracias. And so balance. Golly, I'm already distracted. It's something I have to work on because I'm still figuring out, schedules and things like that. And running around, and you get exhausted, especially if you already start out that way. So I'm trying to improve every episode, so stick with me, guys. Okay, it's just here's the mushroom, and I think I like the thought of the mushroom and the zucchini with the chicken aspect. It's more of less of an Italian soup and more of just a hearty soup without being too, what do I want to say? Without being too, heavy. And these are fire roasted tomatoes. I'm not sure it said that, but I like to add flavor wherever I can, so that is the plan. And like I said, I'm using chicken bone broth, which is really good for your body. People are just doing that. Just drinking bone broth. I believe there's some good aspects of it for your joints and stuff. I could do some research on one of my breaks here. Okay, so this all goes in there. Okay. I might need to add a little liquid because I do have a little bit extra, wait, what's my doogles? A little bit extra pasta. And I have one in here. Let me add a little bit more, just a hair more, because like I said, I have about 4 more ounces of the pasta. So I'm just gonna do a quick. Okay, like that. I don't know that that did anything. Oh gracious. Anyway, so I'm learning, people, and I know you're here with me. Okay, and then I think we turn on the crock pot, and it's cook on high for 2.5 to 3 hours. Check at the 2.5 hour mark. You do not want to overcook your tortellini. Yeah, that is my one thing about pasta soups. I usually just like to make a big batch of it and then separate some out and add noodles to the part I'm separating out. And then the next time we make it, we make a fresh batch of noodles, just so that after a while they get so mushy. And then once cooked, if you're using fresh spinach, this is when you add it, is when it's done. So it just kind of simmers in there. And allow it to cook for about 10 to 15 minutes to soften. And then you sprinkle it with the Parmesan cheese and enjoy. Done. One thing done. Woot, woot. All right, it says on high, but I'm gonna put it on low for right now because it's 10 o'clock in the morning. We're not gonna be eating it anytime soon. Okay, so the next thing we're making, excuse me for my back being to you, we're making baked apples. This was one of my favorite things growing up. So I've cored my apples and I've created, you know, it's cored to about, you know, you want to keep the bottom on. So they're a little brown. Oh, where's my camera? They're a little brown on the inside, but that's okay. They're going to bake anyway. So I didn't really worry about, you know, putting lemon juice in there. But if you were doing something else where you didn't want your apples to be brown, you want to squeeze a little lemon in there. Okay. So you're going to put them in a baking dish. So what I did, because I thought I had an apple corer, and then I remembered it broke the last time I used it. I think even on the episode that I used it last for. But so for this one, it's 6 large apples, Honey Crisp, Braeburn, or Empire are best, she says. 1 cup old-fashioned oats, ½ cup pecans chopped. We're using almonds because I didn't have pecans, and Trader Joe's is miles away, so I didn't have the time to rush, so I'm substituting. And then there's 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, a ½ teaspoon of nutmeg. If you like nutmeg, I'm just going to add a little bit more cinnamon. A ½ teaspoon of ground ginger, 2 tablespoons of coconut oil melted, and 2 tablespoons maple syrup, and a ½ cup apple cider or water. All right. Now, I am using apple juice because I didn't have the cider. I think that's the only other substitution I'm making for this one. All right. Oh, I am adding, if it tastes good. I don't know. I'm a little leery that it doesn't taste that great. But I took one of those refrigerated pie crusts, kept it in the roll, chopped it up, sauteed it in some butter with some cinnamon sugar. And I was going to intermingle that in with the oats and stuff. So I'm thinking, she also wants you to cut the top of the apples flat, which I'm not sure I understand why that's the case. So I left mine not flat and then cut halfway down to put the, you know, so you have enough room for the filling. I'm going to get it. My brain is churning here. And, you know, get out all the seeds. She says you can peel the apple if you want, but I feel like it would kind of lose its, you know, its stability. It would kind of get mushy. And then grease an oven-safe dish, which I did not do, and with cooking spray or coconut oil. She said 8 by 8 works best, but I'm leaving a little space, I guess. And place the apples in the dish. In a bowl, combine the oats, so there's our oats, the pecans and spices. So our almonds, obviously, because we're not using. Okay. And spices. Spices. Okay, so this is the ginger. And this is the cinnamon. And I am going to add a little bit more in there once I get going. Oh, and I think I'm going to, we're adding a little vanilla. And I have to melt my coconut oil here. So it didn't call for vanilla, but I think we used about 2 teaspoons. I could be wrong about that. I gotta melt my coconut oil. Sorry, I'm so off kilter. So yeah, I had another meltdown today because the microphone was being a pain in the booty. So yeah, technology. Woohoo! Like, I don't get it. I don't get why it hates me. I don't think I've done anything to technology as a whole. I might not like it because I'm still learning, but other than that, you know. So I'm gonna get this kind of pre-mixed. I think it said do all of the stuff, right? I'm asking you guys. No, combine oats, pecans, and spices. And then, okay, so we did all that. And then we're gonna add in the melted coconut oil. Perfect. Ippy's melted. So that's making it a little bit healthier than using butter. And then maple syrup. This 100%. So try and use that, not the, I don't know, whatever that syrup is. It's not natural. Let's just put it that way. This kind of reminds me of granola. Like, I bet you some dates or raisins would be great in here. Oh, gosh, that smells so good. Oh, you know what? I forgot to grab my scooper. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set my apples off to the side so I can spray my dish real quick. How do you guys handle balance? Like, let's face it, we're all not like super healthy eaters all the time. I know I'm not. I love ice cream. I love pizza. But how do you balance everything? Work, life, job, school. It's a lot, you know? Everybody's got to do a lot just to get somewhere. Oh my gracious. Whew. Okay. We've got to do a lot to get somewhere in life now. Like, there's so, I don't know. So having that backup of, you know, knowing what you're doing for the day or where you're going or how you're going to get there. Logistics. It's all about logistics, right? So we're going to shove this. So I'm trying a little experiment here off to the side. I'm just going to like let you see it for a second. But here's the apples. And I took what was left of the toppings. Let me get all this other stuff out of the way. We got to cover them with foil too. So I had to get that out. Okay, so what I did was I took the leftover oatmeal stuff and I put the pie crust just in there. And then maybe we'll add that to the top later. But we're also supposed to take this apple juice, apple cider, or water and put it in the bottom. So we'll really see how this all turns out. This is just to kind of steam the apples so they get cooked. But it's going to mix into our little bit of, I don't know, granola? I guess I would consider it. Okay, now we're supposed to cover this, and we're gonna bake for about 30 minutes. Oh, we gotta baste the apples with the cider every 5 to 10 minutes. Boy, little labor intensive, but that's all right. That's not that bad. Just use a turkey baster, right? Okay, so it's sealed up, half an hour. Oi. Hopefully my granola doesn't soak up all the apple cider, I guess, or apple juice, sorry. I guess we'll find out when I baste it in 5 to 10 minutes. All right. And the first 10 minutes start now. Ha ha ha. So, I feel like achieving balance takes a lot of work, takes a lot of people. You know, it takes a village. Even as adults, I still feel like, you know, there's no doing it alone. And while I say, for the most part, especially, oh, my apron's coming undone. Especially when Peyton was at school, it was just me. The whole production, everything, just me. So when it came down to editing, it became pretty overwhelming to add that into the mix. So the balance was to figure out a way to film without having to edit. And that became, the pace of the show became slower. And while it suited me just fine, I know a lot of people didn't appreciate, you know, having to watch me stir for 5 or 10 minutes. So I then started to pause where I needed to, but there's still, you know, kind of long pauses and things like that. So my hat's off to my kids. They really do know what they're doing. It's so impressive. I can't thank them enough. I'm ever so grateful. And I really would be just a puddle on the floor every week if I didn't have their support. I would just be, I would be a mess. So I'm ever so grateful. I kind of want to stir the soup, but I try to smell. You know, I really wish it would have had some garlic, and maybe I will add it. I hate to say it. And it needs it, don't you think? All right, so like that is where we're at right now. I feel as far as balance goes, I don't know. I'm a work in progress, obviously. It takes a lot of hands-on time for me to figure things out. That's always how I've learned, I think. Just tactily, just hands-on, doing it and knowing that I could do it. That's the major thing. Like, if you don't have the confidence that you're doing it, you really beat yourself up. And I've been doing that a lot lately. So I'm trying to figure out a way to talk nicer to myself. You know, it takes a village. So we have 10 minutes left, and I thought I would go over the challenges with you, or at least kind of solidify what we talked about for the new episode this year, or for the first episode this year. So they are: think outside the box, set new goals daily, and take baby steps, literally. And I think those two are pretty much the same thing, but kind of worded a little bit different, because like setting goals daily is not a to-do list. I mean, it is, but it's not like do the laundry, go grocery shopping, take your dog to the vet, or, go to the dentist, things like that. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is take stock and reevaluate daily. And what I mean by that is, where are you headed? What is your purpose? What do you want to accomplish? So that is the way to look at that. But then the baby steps are, once you've set those goals, if you get that baby step in motion, reevaluate that daily. So they kind of work together. And then the thinking outside, they actually work, they all work together. Because first you come up with the idea, right? The grand idea, but then you have to cut it down and show yourself, point blank on a piece of paper. Like I speak mine into my notes. I know I've mentioned that before, but they all kind of have their own, oh look, I kept my hand under there. Their own part of the big picture. So thinking outside the box is coming up with something new, something different, something fresh, something that nobody or very few people have used, or something of that nature. And then how do I set my goals for that? And then how do I break it down even further? So one's a daily and one's more like small baby jumps to get to where you're going. I think it's important that you acknowledge that these things exist, that your ideas exist, that you're creative and clever and aware of what it takes to succeed nowadays, and how hard it is for everyone to get where they're going. And if you backslide, it's a lesson. Calling it a failure is too final in my book. And As you can see, I'm no quitter, I think. But my stick-to-itiveness is probably one of my strengths, but it could also be one of my weaknesses, because a lot of times not really thinking about the lesson involved with a failure and how I can make that balance. How do I balance everything out so that I'm not just focusing on one thing at a time? Everything has to have its place, sadly. And while I'm not an organizer by trade or by daily making myself accountable daily, I think is why the goals thing was such a big deal for me. Like, that one was like, okay, I'm calling them goals because the accomplishment factor that triggers in your brain when you can go, oh yeah, got that goal. Then I like to look at the big part, the big picture, as like, I don't know, the biggest big screen TV you can think of. I mean, I can't, I like to give visuals, and I'm doing a lot with my hands today. So what would be a good visual for, I guess you can make it whatever you want. Everybody's visuals are different, and I'm, again, really not going to tell you how to think. But give that big picture the biggest, visual you can think of, and place the actions within that, on that TV. Like, play it out in your head how you want it to go. And I think that's why they call it the big picture. You can just close your eyes and, just like a TV, see in front of you steps that you can take. And that's kind of all works together to be able to write those things down and keep track of them. And honestly, you could have the same goals every day for a while. If you're finding that what you're doing is you're accomplishing something, or you're leading to the next goal. So I think there's been a lot of days where my focus was exactly the same, with tweaks, as I like to call them. You gotta tweak it here and there, make it more adaptable, make it more, oh my gosh, the words are not coming today. Comprehensible? I don't know. I guess that's not really what I wanted to say. It just makes it more clear to me, I guess, is like a focus on a camera. And when those kinds of things come into view, it kind of stands out a little bit and makes you pay attention more. Or at least I hope that you're paying attention more. Because some signs are very, very subtle. And if you're not paying attention, they'll fly right by you. Believe me, I know. It's easy to miss something. All right, it's time to take them out, guys. Hopefully. It turned out okay. All right, I got a suggestion that I forgot to show the s'more cake on the big camera. So I'm gonna do my best to do that here. But let's see how this turned out. Hot! That's how it turned out. Nice. Okay, this is gonna be all like soggy. So I think my experiment failed. But I'm gonna try a little bit of it though. Like over here where it baked to the, oh yeah. Okay, this is just the filling with the pie. Oop, this is the filling with the pie crust. Whoa! As I drop most of it on the counter. Ooh, I like that. I thought you'd eat it off the counter. Okay, I'm gonna lift this up. I'm scared it's gonna all go sliding, so bear with me here. So here it is on the little camera. Yummy, yummy. And then over here on the big camera. I hope you can see. Oh my goodness. That was really good. I do think it needs a little shimmy shake of cinnamon sugar. And if you're new to my channel, I keep a shaker of it pretty much everywhere. Not everywhere. Always, I mean. It's always filled. And I usually try to use different recipes of cinnamon sugar, and I just keep blending them together. It's kind of fun to find new. I know you think it's hard to, like, I don't know, change up cinnamon sugar, but you'd be surprised. I'm honestly going to put this in the turned off oven and just let it cook the cinnamon sugar in, because why not? You're saving all that stuff, and I don't even use like too much sugar otherwise, is what I'm saying. And you can also, instead of using maple syrup, you can always use honey as well. So I'm just going to set this in here with the oven off to just let it kind of let the cinnamon sugar seep in and kind of, you know, dissolve. Okay, but that's about it, guys. I just wanted to touch base about the book that I'm reading now. And honestly, I'm supposed to do this on the segment called Cook, Book, and First Look. But I did share on Instagram and Facebook the book that we're reading now. And if you follow me on Facebook at Kristen Haas, Kristin, or Instagram at The Best Blessed Life, you can see postings. This one has taken a little bit to get through. While it doesn't look thick, well, it doesn't look thick this way. I don't know, it's hefty. Like, I don't know. I haven't looked at this summary. There's over 400 pages, so, and it's going to be covered next episode, because I want to give you the first look on the same episode. And we're going to cook. Okay, so I've built up a couple weeks worth of those segments. So we're going back a couple books ago to Annie's Ghost, and I'm going to be making something probably not too healthy from the Detroit area, 1940s, I think it was, where most of the story takes place. It's true. And the author who wrote it is well, I can't give the secret away, or did I already? I can't even remember. No, I can't give the secret away yet because I want you to read it. But he's related. We'll just put it that way. The author is related to some of the secret keepers. So we'll cover that, and I'm going to make something for you from Detroit from that era, because I don't really remember them mentioning too much food from the actual book. So I found a dessert I think I want to try, but I might swap it out and do a dinner instead. You know, balance. That's how that works. Okay, guys, I think that's about it. Except to say, I hope you have a good day. Go do great things. Be your best self. And please live your best blessed life.
Thanks for watching.